Matthews scores, the power play gets two, and the Leafs keep chugging along with a win against the Kings. You're listening to the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
You're Locked On Maple Leafs, your daily podcast on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome into the Locked On Leafs podcast, a daily Maple Leafs-centric podcast hosted by myself, Mike DiStefano, and my co-host, Dave Morassutti. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Bet you there was a lot of people out there who used the Gametime app to go to the game tonight. They witnessed the Maple Leafs win their third in a row with a victory over the LA Kings. 6-2 was the final. Austin Matthews got a goal. The power play scored twice. Bobby McMann, the man, scored a pair. And all is well in Leafland, except Craig Berube still found a way to lose his lid there in the third period.
But in rightfully so, in a lot of ways. But yeah, when Craig Berube does it, just you get this chill down your spine, and like he didn't have to say much. You could tell he was mad, but he wasn't Paul Maurice mad.
Right. Yes, he was stern though, and he let them know, hey, let's get our acts together here. You know, you're pissing away a 5-goal lead. You give away 2 quick ones. You're playing a little sloppy here in the third. Let's tighten up. Let's win this hockey game. And they did, right? Like things kind of slowed down a little bit from that point. And the Maple Leafs found their game again. But it wasn't a pretty 6-2 win. I'll say that, right? Like the score probably not as indicative as it should have been. I thought the Kings played relatively well. If you look at the underlying numbers, the Kings were the better team tonight. The deserve to win-o-meter definitely has LA winning that game more times than not. But it doesn't matter because what really matters is the goals that actually go in, and the Maple Leafs found a way to get 6, and they continue their streak. It's now all 4 games this year, or no, 5 games this year. Four games. Jeez Louise. All 4 games this year. And then the final 3 games of the playoffs. That's now 7 straight games where the Maple Leafs have limited their opposition to just 2 goals. You're going to win a lot of hockey games by doing that, no matter how you play offensively, usually. But tonight, they got the offense that they have been looking for. Austin Matthews gets off the schneid, nets his first goal of the season, and nice little goal, I guess. He kind of whiffed on the first shot and then corralled it and used the defenseman to screen the goaltender, and I don't think Dave Riddick still knows where that puck went.
He's still searching for it.
Yep. But it's nice to see Big Papi finally get on the board. He even said afterwards that it was a little bit of weight off his shoulders.
I mean, you just saw the way he reacted, right? Austin Matthews likes to celebrate a goal, but that one felt like a big sense of relief, right? Just finally getting the goal. After now you get questions about it, starts to linger a little bit, right? And I think the last thing he wanted was to have another post-game interview or, tomorrow, next day at practice, talking about how he doesn't have a goal. He doesn't want to talk about that. This is like, he knows he has to be, his job is to put the puck in the net. So, yeah, definitely a big weight off his shoulders.
Yeah, he ended the night with 3 points, a goal, and a couple of helpers, thanks to a couple helpers on the power play, that is. 0 for 9, no more. Now they've got 2 power play goals, scored twice tonight on the power play. It looked atrocious until they finally scored that first goal. I will say that. They could not set up at all. Like they couldn't even get set up. Like they couldn't even get through the neutral zone. They kept getting denied at their own blue line, not the opposition's, but their own blue line. And then finally, Matthews on the goal they scored just said, screw it. I'm taking the puck to the net. I'm just going to take the puck over the line, set up ourselves, and then we could get going and do what we want to do here. And that entry was different. It was simple. He just carried the puck in as opposed to that drop pass, neutral zone nonsense. Just a bit of a simple north-south approach, and it worked. Go figure.
Yeah, go figure when you figure out a way to get the puck on net, get into good scoring opportunities, you're going to score some goals. The first one, yeah, good shot by Nylander, but the Tavares one, right? Getting into the danger areas. That's where you're going to score those goals on the power play. It's not all going to come from the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
It's only like Craig Berube has been saying that for the last few weeks or so.
Yes. But a solid game nonetheless. Anytime you win a game 6-2 and you score 6 goals, I guess you can't be too critical about the team. I didn't love the 2 goals that they did allow. I will say that the first one, the Leafs just a little too laid back. They made it a bit easy for the Kings to break in into their zone, and no one just picked up Turcotte. He was able to just skate right down Broadway, got the puck, quick release, and ripped it over the glove of Stolarz. And then the second one, I just pucks loose in the crease, scramble ensues, and Stolarz kind of pushes it into the back of the net. So you don't love the goals that were allowed, but hey, when you win the game, doesn't really matter all too much, does it?
No, but at the same time, you don't want habits to creep in, right? You don't want, we always talk about playing down to their opponent, things like that. Like, I think because of how easily the goals were coming for them, they kind of let the foot off the gas. Because I didn't think you get to a big lead, right? And especially 5-0 after 2 periods, it's almost like, all right, we're looking to the post game, we're looking to the next game.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like with this team. And I like the time where Berube, the second goal goes in, we're calling a timeout, and it's wake up, go in the offensive zone, because I think they had one shot at that point in the period, and wake up. Like, you can't, this is not acceptable. So, it's a very simple message. They know that they hadn't been playing well in that period. And even after the game, he literally said, I thought our special teams were excellent. Goalie was really good. We had a good first period. We got the lead. But as soon as LA started to turn the pressure, like the Leafs struggled. They were sloppy. And so those are things that, that Berube is going to, as much as there were positives of this game, he's going to dwell on the negatives because that's his job.
Yeah. And the Leafs have to learn from it. Got to grow from it because they got an even tougher task on Saturday, right? Coming up next, they got the New York Rangers, and goals aren't going to be that easy to come by against New York like they were tonight. So, that's just going to be the case. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get into our 3 stars of the game. So we'll do that next here in the Locked On Leafs podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. NHL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. It's North America's #1 sports book. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you placed your bet. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. You can do all that on FanDuel.com. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. I'm Mike DiStefano with Dave Morassutti. We are your hosts here on the Locked On Leafs podcast, which can be found each and every weekday wherever you get a podcast, and also up on YouTube. If you enjoy the content today, hit subscribe. We got new content coming out each and every day. That's right. New podcast Monday to Friday, each day. All Leafs, all the time on the Locked On Leafs podcast. After every win, we do the 3 stars of the game. Maple Leafs with a 6-2 victory over the LA Kings. Dave, who was your first star?
I'm going to go with Bobby McMann.
Oh, yeah. We buried the lead on that one. The fact that we've gone 10 minutes into the pod and we're just getting to Bobby McMann, that's my bad. That's a shame on me.
I probably should have brought his name up too, but we've been bringing up his name so much on this podcast. And look, I'm not going to apologize for it. I've been a big Bobby McMann fan ever since he started going off last season. And he gets scratched in the first game, and everyone's now like, well, why was he ever scratched? Well, Bobby McMann needed a little bit of a push. Craig Berube gave him a little bit of a push, and that just set off a rocket because 3 goals now on the year, and again, just a solid. He continues to be a solid player, right? Taking the body, he's playing on the penalty kill, and he's the type of player that the Leafs we've always wanted the Leafs to have. And it was just unfortunate that they didn't have him in the playoffs last year because they could have used a guy like this last year.
Totally. And he had a great game. He's my first star also, for sure. I mean, not just like the 2 goals, and that's awesome. That's great. Bobby McMann, like we need guys on this team who can add that secondary scoring punch. We thought perhaps McMann could do it. He did it in stretches last year, but we'll see with a full season. Well, he's proven that he can if given the opportunity, and he was tonight, playing with some good players, playing with Domi, playing with Nylander. They can get him the puck in the right areas, and he's not afraid to go to the gritty areas and score as well. But 2 goals tonight, nearly had an assist. He had that nice pass that he sprung William Nylander on that breakaway that Willie nearly scored on. And like moments after that, open ice check absolutely blows up Mikey Anderson. So he's playing with the level of physicality that the coach loves. Like that's exactly, you mentioned he needed a push. Message received, I think, from Bobby McMann. And he's not only out there saying, "Hey coach, I can do what you're asked of me." It's, "Hey coach, I am asserting myself on the second line here in the top 6. There's a battle, and there's other guys who are trying to grab that spot for the second line left wing position. I want it. I'm out here. I'm playing my ass off. I'm doing what you're asking. I'm killing penalties. I'm scoring goals. I'm making plays. I'm checking hard. I'm being hard to play against in my own end. I deserve these minutes." And Bobby McMann made one hell of a case to remain in the top 6 tonight. I thought he was excellent.
Yeah, like we've been trying to figure out what's the right pairing, what's the right trio for that second line. And we always thought Bobby McMahon's likely a middle 6, third line guy, but has the potential, if he can play well offensively, to be that second, playing that top 6. If this is the Bobby McMann we're going to get this year, his contract is a steal.
Oh, is it ever? Let's make it like 1.3.
He's making whatever Benoit 1.3.
Yeah, 1.35, 375, something like that. Like he's making too little money for what he's been able to provide so far. Currently tied with William Nylander for the Maple Leafs lead in goals early on in the season. So Bob McMann, first star of the game unanimously. Second star of the game, Dave.
I got to go with Anthony Stolarz.
Yep, unanimous again.
Just another night where, past games it's been a little easier, I think, for the goalie. Tonight was not easy. There were some tough saves he had to make. Defense felt off. Weren't in great positions. Weren't really. He had to work a little bit harder to make some of the saves he made tonight.
Yeah, he had to earn the win tonight, right? The last couple games, I would say, they weren't difficult. He wasn't under siege. I think he was faced like 23 shots or something like that against Pittsburgh. Tonight, he faced 34 shots. 10 of them considered high danger shots as well. So it wasn't just the fact that he was facing rubber. The Leafs were actually giving up a lot of chances, which is not something that they've done. They're actually coming into this game the stingiest defense. They had given up the least amount of high danger chances at 5-on-5 per 60 minutes coming into this game. And then for whatever reason tonight, that's the way that the LA Kings like to play. They are a physical bunch. They like to get to the center of the ice and get those opportunities. And they did that, and then they got their chances. They eventually scored a couple of goals, obviously. But Stolarz was pretty good. A couple times he was flopping a little bit more so than we'd seen before. I think there's just more going on around the net tonight compared to before. But 2.75 goals saved above expected for Anthony Stolarz tonight. So pretty solid outing. And I mean, Dave, they were having the conversation on the panel, like when Joseph Woll is fully healthy, has Stolarz done enough to steal the job, to steal at the very least, 1A job? I think he has for what he's done so far early on in the year. So Joseph Woll comes back. I think it's Stolarz who gets 2 out of 3 games, not Woll.
You play the hot hand right now. I mean, it's tough. Like, I understand that Joseph Woll is the goalie that they want to take over the reins, but right now you play the guy who's playing the best right now. There are gonna be slumps. Guys are gonna have some struggles, and you're gonna need all your goaltenders, right? Available and ready to play. But right now, Stolarz, he's giving me no reason to say, yeah, maybe we can have a bit of a competition going here. No, let him play. He's playing his best, and Craig Berube made it. No, he said our goalie was really good, right? He's basically saying, he liked the calmness that he's showing in the net. He likes his body language, and I think that's what has made this defense also, confident to start the year, right? They know they have, Anthony Stolarz playing so well behind them that they're not overdoing it at all with their defending. So, yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying Joseph Woll doesn't have the chance to be a starter, but right now, you go with the guy who's been available and has played well.
Yeah, I mean, I still believe this is a tandem. Like, I don't think Stolarz, at this point in his career, at this point in his age, is going to develop into a 55, 60 game guy. I just don't see it happening. So they're going to need a healthy Joseph Woll or Hildeby. I mean, Matt Murray will probably get factored in at some point this season, I would imagine. But it is nice that you can have a calming presence back there when Stolarz is playing. When Woll is playing, he's also a calming presence. We do know that. You just feel good about the goaltending position right now, which is a weird thing to say in Maple Leafs land, isn't it, Dave? That it's a good goalie situation. Haven't been able to say that in God knows how long.
No, not at all, right? We talked about how one guy has taken the net and has run with it, while the other guy has kind of struggled a little bit. Not the like we're hoping that this year it's going to be a legitimate battle between the guys, and you're going to have to make that tough call, down the stretch of who's going to earn the minutes.
Yeah,
And that's good competition to have. A lot of teams have really found ways. I mean, you look at Boston when they had Olmark and Swayman.
right.
There was a competition there. I mean, a lot of people would say, Swayman's. It was never really ever Swayman's net. It was both guys.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, Allmark won the Vezina.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the year that they won the William Jennings, Allmark was your Vezina winner that year. So, yeah, that's obviously what the Maple Leafs were hoping for when they signed both of these guys. And once Woll gets healthy, if he can stay healthy, I think they're going to get that, which is an encouraging thing to have. Third start of the game, Dave.
Uh, I think I'm going to go with Nylander because the Leafs finally scored on the power play, and he's the
Mm-hmm.
one that scored the goal to
Yeah,
get them that first power play goal. But for a guy who we weren't even sure was going to be playing tonight, dealing with the flu bug, and I just loved his game. He had an aggressiveness to him, the speed. He was finding open areas of the ice to get plays, and I thought he should have been rewarded more for the way he was playing tonight. And when you're looking at why the McMann, Nylander-Domi trio has worked out so well, it's because it's the speed they're playing with, it's the tenacity in the offensive zone on the forecheck to go and get those opportunities, and the chemistry of Domi and Nylander. It's really nice to see, and Craig Berube loved that trio.
And McMahon had a couple of nice plays where he got the puck into the hands of Nylander to try and make a play and vice versa. So just the three of them together, yeah, just played off each other really well. I think they complement each other really well. I'm done with seeing Nylander and Tavares together. I think you use the word speed. And I think that is a benefit that this trio in particular has. And I think that Nylander's gotten to a point in his career where like he needs to be playing with people who can keep up with him. And Tavares isn't there anymore. Right. I think that's why we've seen the struggles of Nylander and Tavares over the last couple of years. They just I don't think they complement each other as nicely as we had imagined or as we had hoped that they would. And I think it's just because, Tavares' game has fallen off a little bit. The foot speed hasn't really ever been there, but it's really starting to lack now. So I think we're done. I think we're done with John Tavares as a top 6 guy, as a top 2 centerman on this team. I think he is comfortably the 3C. I like Domi at 2C just because it gives you the opportunity to keep to have Nylander play with guys with speed ultimately. And I think that creates and opens up so much more for them offensively. I was going to give it to OEL as a third start tonight. I thought OEL played pretty well on both sides of the ice. He was on the ice for 5 of the 6 goals that the Maple Leafs scored. 3 had 5-on-5. Ended up with being on the ice for both the power play goals as well. Go figure. You put OEL on the power play, and all of a sudden they start scoring some goals here. Look at that. I finished tonight with a couple of apples as well. So Oliver Ekman-Larsson got my 3rd star. All right, Dave, we'll put a bow on this game on the other side. And today was a special day for myself as a hockey card collector, Dave. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell the people why. We're going to get into some hockey card talk on the other side, buddy. That's coming up here on the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Gametime has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Gametime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You can get yourself some Gametime Picks. The curation that they do makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, and theater events. They've got great seat views, which gives you a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you even purchase your tickets. They've got the lowest price guarantee, or Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime. Today's show is also brought to you by PrizePicks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. PrizePicks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, PrizePicks keeps your lineup live. PrizePicks puts its members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When I make my picks and they hit, I get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks is the best way to win real money this hockey season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on PrizePicks. Download the app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morassutti with you here as always. We'll put a little bit of a bow on tonight's game here, Dave, as the Maple Leafs beat the LA Kings by a score of 6-2. The Maple Leafs now 3-1. They've now victors of 3 in a row, and things are looking pretty good in Leafland. I'll say that. Things are looking pretty good. Any final comments from tonight's game?
I do have a stat that I think you'll like, that the Leafs have right now a +7 goal differential. It is their best through the first 4 games of the season since the 1999-2000 season.
Oh, baby. It is a good thing to hear. Good thing to hear. Back in the Pat Quinn days, they played some good North-South hockey back in the Pat Quinn days. I'll tell you that. And it's funny. They've won 3 games so far, and they're still – we're only halfway through the month. They've only played 4 games. So there's what, 8 games left? 7 or 8 games left in the month? The most games that they've won in the last 5 years in the month of October, in the first month, is 6. So they're halfway there through just 4 games, and there's still a bunch more to go. So it's definitely something we were curious to see if the Leafs would get off to a good start under Craig Berube. Slow starts in October have been a theme for this team, and so far, So good, I would say. Matthews is scoring now. The power play's cooking. Things are coming up. Things are coming up Maple Leafs right now. All right. Dave, today was a really fun day for myself. I'm a big hockey card collector. I know you know that, and some of the people who are longtime listeners of the podcast know that. And Series 1 flagship came out today, and I ripped open a couple of boxes. And this is like the set where the marquee rookie cards of every player comes out. So this year's the marquee rookie cards of guys like Logan Stankoven, Carter Gauthier, Lane Hudson is the top chase card right now for the set. You're not a card collector. You used to collect when you were younger, though. You got some stuff lying around.
Yeah, back in I would say 2005, 2006 is when I first got into it. I keep telling you this, but somewhere in this house is a binder full of my cards that I collected back in that time. And there's a Ovechkin. I don't know what level of rookie card it is for Ovechkin, but there is a rookie card of his that I did buy at a card store.
You gotta
find it. To find it, especially with the goal record within reach for him. That card might be worth a little bit.
A little bit. Could be worth a couple of bucks in the next little bit. These are what they look like though this year. This one's the Lane Hudson Young Guns.
Yes, I've heard a lot about Lane Hudson.
He's playing pretty good, I will say. As much as people in Leafland do not like the Montreal Canadiens, Lane Hudson looks spectacular, I will say. How much do you think this piece of cardboard is worth? How much do you think this is selling for today?
Today? If you're going to Montreal, someone's probably offering about like $30, $40.
That's what you think? That's
what I think.
$150 for this piece of cardboard.
What?
$150 for a Lane Hudson Young Guns. That's what the market has dictated on release day. Now it's going to drop over the next couple of days as more hit the market, supply and demand. That's how it works. But yeah, that was quite insane when I opened up eBay to see what they were selling for today, and I saw lots of sales for about $150. I thought that it was kind of
I will say people that when you're looking at buying something, sometimes you got to look at what's been sold versus what's been listed before you really gauge on whether it's a card, whether it's any sort of collectible.
Yeah, there's many sales on this. Many sales on this at $150. Not just one random. Lots of people are paying that right now.
Wow, a lot of people in Montreal drinking the Lane Hudson Kool-Aid. And look, he's looked good, but $150 good? Man.
Yeah, well, you're not a hockey card guy, but there's tons of them out there. I do want to show you one of these.
I'm not a big hockey, but I do know it's out there.
Yeah. I do want to show you these because I want to get your opinion as someone who's new to the scene, doesn't really know what's going on. They created this new insert called Young Guns Renewed. So they're kind of doing a graffiti art remake of old Young Guns from superstars of not necessarily the past, the past and present, I guess you could say. And they look pretty cool, man. I do got to say, this one is a Victor Hedman. They kind of made a remake, and there's an artist. What's his name? Do they have it on here? No, they don't. They should. I don't know why they don't. But it's something the artist. I don't know. So there's some artist that made these designs. They look pretty cool. There's a Bobrovsky one that I got. There's Jeff Carter, Tuomo Ruutu, which is a really random one.
That is very random.
Mark Stone, very, very, very random. There's only one Maple Leaf Young Guns, though. I didn't get it. I opened up 2 boxes today, and
is it Naz?
Who?
Is it Nazem Kadri?
Nazem Kadri rookie card?
Young Guns Renewed. Or is that
no. No, there is. I don't know if there's any old Leaf Young Guns Renewed. I didn't. I gotta check I look at the checklist to see if there's any of that. But Young Guns, the regular Young Guns, the rookie cards, there's only one of them. Marshall Refi. That's the big Maple Leafs chase. Yeah, that's it.
Refi.
Well, who else is it gonna be? There's no other rookies.
Yeah, I guess. Well, Joseph Wold no longer counts as a rookie.
Well, yeah, so Joseph Woll's rookie card was already in the set a couple of years ago. Hildeby was in the last set. Fraser
Mhm.
Minton was in series 2. Like,
Easton
those
Town
guys
would
have
have been
already come
last
out.
year too.
No, but you have to play one game in the NHL in order to get a Young Guns rookie card. So
Oh,
Easton Cowan is not yet
okay. So that'll be the
played.
next one when that eventually happens.
Yeah, so he'll be, a big chase
Yeah,
next year.
I would say there really is no one else when you think about it.
No, I mean, trust me, Upper Deck, who's the company who produces these, the production company, they certainly will try and shoehorn as many Maple Leaf prospects into these boxes they possibly can because they know that they're big sellers and big chasers. Marshall Refi is the only one who qualified. So yeah, Marshall Refi is the only Maple Leafs young gun that you could get in the set. But yeah, Lane Hudson and Cutter Gauthier are like the two big chases from this year's set. It's pretty cool. I did a box break, a podcast on my Hockey Card Haven podcast. So if you guys do like hockey cards, we don't talk about it on the show often. Say it's just a little bit of a specialty day because Series 1 flagship released today. It's almost like Christmas for hockey card fans. So I was like, we got to talk about it a little bit. But you can go check out my Locked On. No, it's not Locked On. The Hockey Card Haven podcast. Maybe we could try and sell it to Locked On. But it's the Hockey Card Haven podcast. I have new episodes that come out each Wednesday. So I had one come out yesterday where I talked in depth, in full, did a little bit of product preview of this Series 1 that dropped the flagship product. And I opened up a box live on the podcast as well, did a box break. So you can watch me open up the stuff and kind of show you what all of the inserts and cards and rookies look like. So you can go check out that podcast, Hockey Card Haven, available on Spotify and also on YouTube. You gonna go buy a box, Dave? Did I convince you to buy
what does
a
a box cost? Because I know there's a box you got last year, which was like
Stupid
three,
money.
like a lot.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean,
What you were getting in the box, yes, you would probably almost make your money back, if not more.
No, not the case. Not the case, my friend. Opening up boxes is usually a losing effort. So the one last year, so Connor Bedard's rookie year with his rookie cards, those boxes were going for like $350. It was crazy. These ones are only $160. I say only, but like comparatively to last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say like $160 for a box of cards. It's a lot more than what I was spending back. I was getting the tins at Walmart.
Yeah, but no, back in the day, the tins were decently cheap. You get the tins for like $30.
Yep.
The tins now are like 80 for a tin now. It's wild, Dave. The card hobby is in a much different place today than it was when we were growing up as kids. It is a hustle. It very much is a hustle. I enjoy it. It's fun. Like I set up at shows all the time. I'll be at the expo next month, all 4 days. So if anyone, is a collector and you stop by and you see me at the expo, say hello. Would love to know that there's some other Locked On Leafs card fans out there who share a passion with hockey cards, the same passion that I do. And check out my podcast also if you are inclined to do so, if you want to know a little bit more about the hockey card hobby. It's a lot of fun. I do it with my buddy Anthony Santini, who also works at TSN. Anything else you want to know, Dave, before we get out of here? Any other fun questions you have about card collecting?
No, anything? I'm now itching to go and find this binder of cards I have.
I'm itching for you to find it. Like I want you to find it, and then I want to go through it with you and tell you, like, oh, this is this card, this is that card, this is worth. Most of them are going to be worth nothing. I'll tell you that right now.
Most likely.
But if there's an Ovechkin rookie of some kind, like I'd imagine it's not a Young Guns because that would be worth like $1,000 if you had one of those. But there are definitely some lower end rookie cards that could be worth like $50 to $100. So,
hey, better than nothing.
Yeah, well, you'll have to take a look and show me, buddy, and then we'll report to the pod what the card is. How about that?
I will make time at some point to search in this house. I did search a couple of areas in this basement to try to find the binder, and I did not. So
Well, we
Look,
know it's not in the garage, right? Because
oh
you
no,
had
I would
to.
never have done that. Never have
Well,
done that.
you had to. Didn't you the other day say that
Oh
you
yeah.
were like
Oh, I threw a bunch
cleaning
of
it
stuff.
out or something?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
construction bin full of stuff. So,
yeah.
and I looked at everything that went in that bin. There were no hockey cards.
No hockey cards. All right,
If,
buddy.
if there
We'll leave
was,
it
I will
there.
cry.
Yeah, yeah.
But there was.
We'll leave it there. All right, that's going to do it for us here today on the podcast. I'd like to thank you all for listening and supporting the show. You can subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast on all platforms and receive daily Leafs content. Follow myself on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck. Follow Dave at D_Morassutti, and follow the show as well at Locked On Leafs. We'll be back with another episode for you guys. Tomorrow, we will tee up the Leafs and Rangers coming up on Saturday. But until then, keep it locked right here on Locked On Leafs.